Huge announcement from Google as they've just released Gemini 2.0 Flash. This is a brand new update and it is available for free. I'll be guiding you through what it means, how it works, what the difference is, and exactly how you can use it, plus giving you some custom made prompts for free today. And this was just announced a few hours ago. It is a big step up from what I've seen versus previous models. You can see, for example, the benchmarks versus Gemini 1.5. And again, you can get free access to that. I'll be showing you exactly how it works step by step. So for facts grounding, much better factuality, better at coding, reasoning, images. You can even do audio output now as well, and video as well. You can see it's performing better than ever. And the main difference here is it's focused on agentic experiences, which means that you can automate a lot of the workflows you previously couldn't, because this is kind of using AI agents. And that's basically the future that I see Gemini and other AI models going into next year particularly. So you can see here how they've explained 2.0 Flash Experimental introduces improved capabilities like native tool use, and for the first time Gemini can also natively create images and generate speech, which is pretty wild. It can actually generate speech right now. You can't do that in ChatGPT, you can't do it inside Claude, but you can do this inside Gemini Flash 2.0. So you can see here you can generate images, text to speech, and you can also build out agents that use Google search and code execution, which has a lot of potential for different tools. We'll be coming on to that later, but this is a bit of a game changer. Now, if you want to see all the details, Google have a blog on their website, as you can see. So basically, they've said, today we're excited to launch our next era of models built for this new agentic era, include introducing Gemini 2.0, our most capable model yet. Now, the main thing here is that it has multi-modality. So it can do native images, it can do audio outputs, it has native tool use. So for example, you can actually create tools and then run them inside Gemini Flash, and it will be introduced directly into Google as well. So Google search will be using Gemini 2.0. Now, if you want to get access to that, you can also get free access to the new Gemini 2.0 Flash API inside Google AI Studio. So I'll be showing you exactly how to use that later on in this video. And it's also got something very interesting called Project Astra, which is basically agents using multimodal understanding in the real world. So that means better dialogue and also a better memory, but additionally, you can also stream inside Gemini as well. So it has streaming capabilities with audio understanding, better memory. So it now has up to 10 minutes of in-session memory, so it can remember the conversations that you have, and it's integrated with Google Search, Lens, and Maps. So Project Astra is a massive game changer as well inside this tool. We've also got Project Marina. So basically Project Marina is kind of like agent performance, right? So you can do like end-to-end real-world web tasks, and this is getting wild now. So we were talking about, for example, Project Marina. So for example, with agents, it's now technically possible to navigate within a browser. Now, it's not going to be 100% accurate. It's not going to be that fast, but you can imagine this is the worst it's ever going to be. And already agents from Gemini 2.0 can basically browse the internet, start doing stuff. We'll be coming on to that in a minute, which also leads on to Jules. So Jules is basically an agent for developers. So basically, if you want to create your own tools with AI and the API from Gemini, you can use Jules, which is like an AI-powered code agent that's going to integrate directly with GitHub. So for example, you can give it a task, it will develop a plan, execute it, and you can see an example of that working its magic right there. Pretty wild. It can also do some other crazy stuff, like, so for example, they have Gemini 2, which is an AI model that can create loads of 3D playable worlds just from a single image. So here's what it looks like once you're inside. So you're going to select Gemini in the top left, and then we'll go to 2.0 Flash Experimental. You can preview the latest model. I'm not on the paid plan. You can see I'm not paying for Gemini right here. We can test that out in a minute if it's required, but for now we'll just stick to Gemini Flash Experimental just to see how it's going. So let's test out its writing capabilities first of all. So it's really fast actually for responding. Like, look how quick that generated. I literally just pasted in a full prompt, as you can see right here, and it's generated the output really quickly. Now, it's not really formatted into headings and that sort of thing. The article itself is pretty long when we generate that article. Let's see what we got here. So I'm just going to grab this text, see how long it is. So it is 650 words. Content itself is nicely written, nicely formatted, etc. So the content itself is not as nicely written as, say, something like, I would say, Claude but it's not bad at all. It has followed the instructions. It generated it extremely quickly, and that really doesn't require much editing at all. When I look at the content, it's better than most stuff that I've seen. Let's just test it out for AI detection. So I'm going to grab the content. So we'll run this through 0GPT. That's coming out heavily detectable. Let's see if we can get it to bypass AI detectors. I'm going to try this prompt right here. So it's actually doing what I said. I thought it might refuse. Sometimes on ethical grounds, these AI tools actually refuse it, but it's doing its magic. We'll test this before and after so we can see, okay, how does it perform versus after. It's better, but it's not great. So that's still coming out of 40%. I think if you want non-AI detectable content, then my free content humanizer is probably still best. Let's test it out, see if it can do a better job. You can get free access to this, by the way, using my free course, link in the comments description, to get free access to this and those other tools. Yeah, so you can see this comes out at only 8%, right? So basically I would say ChatGPT, free tools like this that I'm giving away, much better for AI detection. But let's get back to Gemini now. I'm impressed by the speed. The content itself is not bad at all, but for bypassing AI detectors, if you care about that stuff, not that great. Let's just test the keyword, see if it's actually using Google to generate the answers. So I've put something like best SEO training Honiton, like you see right here. You can see us ranking with YouTube and also our websites down here, dominating that keyword. Now, if we go inside Gemini, it is pulling the answers directly from Google, which is going to be useful. I'm going to talk about that in a second and how you can use it. And additionally, that's really useful to know because, for example, if you create content, you rank it on Google, it's not just going to rank there, but it's also going to rank inside Gemini. So the listings are pretty much the same in Google as they are inside Gemini. However, what you can see is there's no real sources here. So it will do brand mentions, but it's not going to link directly to your website, like you can see. Now, if we scroll down here, we can click on listen. Let's see what that does.
It's awesome you're looking to boost your SEO skills in Honiton. Here's a breakdown of how to find the best SEO training, keeping it local. 1. Julian Goldie's SEO training. Local focus.
We'll pause that, but the voice itself is not bad. Still feels very AI-y, but I think the voice mode could be super useful as well. Let's test out. Now what I'm going to say is reverse engineer the first page of Google for my keyword best SEO training. And what I want to figure out here is, can Gemini 2.0 Flash like actually go on websites, check out the content, check the word count, etc., see what the semantics are like. So I'm just going to say, okay, give me the word count of the top 3 ranking blocks, something like that, and we'll see if it can actually do what it promises. Look at that. See, this is quite interesting now, because on the page as promised previously with Gemini, it was talking about how it could browse the web, automate tasks for you. It's got like an 83% accuracy on that, but I can't see that directly integrated inside gemini.google.com. As you can see right here, it says I can help you reverse engineer the first page of Google. However, I cannot directly access and scrape website content to give you precise word counts. That would require automated tools, which I don't have as an AI. So it's interesting to see the limitations of it right there. I'm just going to say, okay, give me the top 5 ranking competitors, see if it can do that. So what I'm going to say now is I'm going to say, okay, give me the top 5 ranking competitors for the keyword best SEO training, see if it can actually do that. It's not pulling in the sources, right? So I don't think, I honestly think like this is terrible if you want to get traffic. Hopefully because this is just mentions, right? It's not linking out directly to the source. It does mention who's the best, etc., but it's not giving you links to the actual competitors, even when we ask for them. And also, if we check if this tool is actually factual or not. So if we go through the first page of Google here, we're like, okay, yeah, Julian Goldie, he's ranking for the top 2 results. That's great. But if we go down, it's like Media Street, DreamGrow, Ahrefs. They're ranking for that keyword, but it's not actually giving us useful answers, right? It's not telling us those names inside the response from Gemini, even when we've specifically asked for it, right? Now, if we scroll down here as well, it's also said to further refine the list, I recommend doing the following, and it says perform the search yourself. Thanks for that, mate. Appreciate that. I never thought about doing that myself. So honestly, here's what I'm loving so far. So number 1, the speed of Gemini is great. Number 2, it is free. Number 3, it creates quite nice content, but the content itself is not humanized. it's not actually giving us links to the sources inside the content, even when we request them. And it's not actually doing what we ask in terms of searching Google. All this agentic stuff, I can't actually see it inside the platform. Maybe I'm completely missing it, but so far it doesn't feel like a massive upgrade. I'll be honest with you. It's not like the ChatGPT Canvas update yesterday where it's just an absolute game changer and it's available for free. I can't really feel the magic in the air when I'm using this tool. Now, what I'm going to do is I genuinely don't want to upgrade for this, but I'm going to upgrade to advanced just to see whether it can do anything else, because so far from what I can see, I'm not getting a lot of good stuff out of this. Now, before we do that, I want to just check inside aistudio.com, which is available for you for free as well. And inside here, you can access Gemini Flash Experimental as well. All right, so you can get free access to Flash Experimental, and then we can test what it can do. Now, maybe you're going to get better results inside AI Studio versus inside Gemini.google.com, and that might be the best place to start if you're really trying to push the limits of this stuff. So let's give that a whirl and see if this is better. So what I'm going to do from here is I'll scroll up. We're going to go inside here. I'm going to check, for example, Opposum Search, see what that can do. And I've said create a web app called Opposum Search. Every time you make a search query, it should direct you to Google search with the same query. And this sounds pretty good. This was one of the default prompts recommended by Google AI Studio. Let's click on use code with caution. Now just make sure you have Gemini 2.0 Flash inserted when you're doing this. Let's hit run now, see what happens next. I think what we need to do as well is enable code execution. Right, so you see here how it says runs generated code in a sandboxed environment without internet access. Let's see what else we got. So generate structured output. We can click on edit and see what we get there. So we get like a visual editor as well. Okay, that's interesting. Let's see what we got there. So I'm going to hit save on that, and then we'll try it again. Doesn't seem to do much. I might just be terrible at using Google Flash, but from what I can see, doesn't seem to be great that. Let's select now, let's switch it up and try grounding. So it says search results and provide links to relevant sources, and then you can see it says the source is Google search. I don't know if this is actually gonna work. I'm losing a bit of faith. Let's see what we got. But I want to be 100% transparent with you and honest with you, right? If it works, I'll show you. If it doesn't work, I'll show you that as well. All right, it doesn't seem to be doing much there. I can't really see much here. There's no like preview of the code or anything like that. It's not using Claude and the artifacts feature. I'm gonna say, okay, do a Google search for SEO training. So that actually gives you the search sources. And then if we click on that, it will take us straight to Google with a link to that example. That's useful to know. All right, so now I'm gonna take this to another step and see if we can create something useful out of it. So I'm going to say, give me a list of my top 5 competitors for the keyword, insert keyword. We'll customize that in a second. Then I'm going to say, break down their meta descriptions plus meta titles and see if this works. There we go. All right, this is pretty useful now. So we're getting some useful information. So basically what it's done is it's done the search on Google directly inside AI Studio. So if you want to get access to this, use AI Studio. And then inside here, you can see it's given us a page, the meta title, the meta description, and our competitor. So you can basically build like a keyword analysis tool where you can figure out, okay, what's ranking, who's ranking, and what sort of keywords are showing up. So that is actually something useful. By the way, all the prompts, all the tips, all the workflows, etc., feel free to get that link in the comments description, and you'll get free access to 200 free AI SEO strategies plus a full SEO course based on what's working for us. Feel free to get that link in the comments description. Now let's keep going. And also you'll get access to the content humanizer that I mentioned earlier. So let's keep running through this. If you want to get access to a free API code directly inside AI Studio for Gemini, then you can click on Get API Key on the left-hand side, create API key, select your project, hit Generate API Key. And let's say, for example, you want to generate some keywords, you can select Gemini, and then you can use that on tools, right? So for example, I created this free keyword generation tool. If we plug in an API key here, and then we're going to select Generate from niche, hit Generate Keywords, that's going to use Gemini's free API, unlike Claude where you have to pay, unlike ChatGPT where you have to pay for the API, and then generate keywords for you. And it doesn't cost you a penny because these tools are ready made for you. There's 50 of these inside my free SEO course, but you can see here how you can easily get it to do basic tasks for you, like for example, keyword clustering and planning out your whole website's keyword research. So let's see if Gemini Advanced is any better. We're going to upgrade right now. So it says $9.49 for 2 months, then $18.99 after. We'll hit get discount. I think we've tested the full limitations of Gemini 2.0 Flash for free, and let's go to Gemini Advanced, right? So this is a deep research method, as you can see right here. So it creates like more in-depth analyses, and what we're going to do is we're going to switch to Flash Experimental. Now, what's interesting here is it says 1.5 Pro with deep research, but if we go to 2.0 Flash Experimental, it doesn't seem to have that functionality. Let's just see if it does. We'll ask it, do you do deep research, mate? And it doesn't seem to be able to do it. Let's just test it out. Okay, I'm going to say, okay, research the new release of Gemini Flash 2.0. Pretty useful, to be fair. Like, it's given us a lot of good resources there, giving us all the facts, etc. It does seem pretty good for research, to be fair. That's better than ChatGPT. If I actually do the same thing inside ChatGPT, it's not as in-depth, not as detailed. You can see like Gemini's formatted it really nicely. So you can see, for example, Gemini's formatted it really nicely, giving us a bit more detail, giving us a link to giving us a nice little summary, etc. ChatGPT's response is a lot shorter for sure. Now, I just want to test the limits of its coding ability. So what I've actually said is create a cost calculator over here. And it's giving us a basic framework, but it's not actually giving us a cost calculator. So it's not coded it out. So I think you have to be really specific with the instructions. I'm going to say, okay, code an SEO cost calculator. Let's see if it can do its magic there. So now it's actually creating the HTML, so you can see it's explaining how to use it. Can we run it? Doesn't look like you can run it directly inside the chat from what I can see. Now, I did try doing this back in AI Studio, so I said create and run a cost calculator. I asked for all these details. I was like, just go ahead and figure it out and run it. Just to put this in perspective, if I actually do the same thing inside Claude here, it will just generate that right off the bat. And then I can create code previews, I can create tools, exactly the same prompt, super simple. If I do that inside Gemini, as you can see, it actually tried to execute the code, but it encountered an issue. So then it recoded it, but it's not like you can preview it, right? You can run it, but it's created the outputs, etc., without asking for my inputs. Whereas, for example, if we go into Claude, that's actually going to create a tool that I can customize, change up, etc., and then easily get the outputs. So if you're actually creating your own tools, this could be useful for like developers who are really good at, who know how to take that code, run it, etc., host it. But if you want to create something quick and simple, I'd probably stick to Claude for creating tools, honestly. Inside Gemini, it's not doing that at all, so it's not running the code. So what I want to test now is the stream real time. So what it says actually here is that you can screen share and it will fix errors for you, which is super interesting if this works. Let's see. I don't want to get ahead of myself and say this is going to be awesome. I want to test this out and see if it actually works. So I'm going to click talk to Gemini. It's going to open up this. I'm going to say allow whilst visiting, and we'll see, are you working right now? Can you get back to me?
Yes, I am currently active, but I can still respond to you. Is there anything else I can help you with now?
That's pretty wild, to be fair. The speed of response was amazing there. The fact that's way faster than ChatGPT Advanced Voice. Let's see if it can actually reply to me using the video source. So let's click here. We'll select screen, and then I'm just going to share my screen and see what it does next.
Okay, I understand that you will share your screen. Please proceed when you are ready.
How could I improve this SEO calculator?
The screen shows an SEO cost calculator with fields for content creation, technical SEO, link building, local SEO, and analytics. You're asking how to improve it and what is my take, correct?
Yeah, that's it.
Okay, some possible improvements for the SEO calculator could include adding preset packages as shown on the left of the screen, like basic, professional, and enterprise, as well as including tooltips that explain each service. You could also add yearly cost projections and a breakdown of estimated ROI.
Let's stop the recording there. That was amazing. That was genuinely amazing. By far the best feature I've seen so far from this is the stream real time. Like the fact that you can share your screen, you can speak to the AI in real time, it responds very quickly, doesn't seem buggy at all, and you can do that for free is absolutely mind-blowing. Wow. Okay, let's try this now. So that was next level. Definitely recommend checking that out. Let's see how we can use it for SEO. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to pull up the search console for this website made with auto-blogging, and if we just click on share my screen, we'll select entire screen, we'll click on that, and then from here, can you give me some ideas on like good keywords we could rank for based on the data that we've got right here?
Sure, let's analyze the data on the screen. I see several top queries, such as budget direct caravan insurance, a happy caravan, and Dodge Caravan AWD. These keywords could be good targets for your website to rank for.
Could you give me 10 different keywords I could potentially rank for based on this?
Certainly, based on the data, here are 10 keywords you could potentially rank for. Budget Direct Caravan Insurance, The Happy Caravan, Dodge Caravan AWD, Caravan Roadworthy Victoria, Dodge Grand Caravan AWD, Caravan of Love Meaning, Waze Caravan, Does a Caravan Need a Roadworthy in Victoria, Caravan Roadworthy Certificate, and Caravan Insurance Budget Direct. These are the top 10 from your search queries.
Awesome.
Okay, let's talk about semantically optimizing the page. Based on what I see, the page is titled Insuring Your Caravan with Budget Direct, Coverage and Benefits. Some ideas for semantically optimizing the page could be making sure the keywords you're targeting are included in the page's headings, use synonyms and related words in your internal links to other relevant pages on your website. Also, make sure to break up long paragraphs into shorter ones for readability, and include more visuals such as images or videos to keep readers engaged. Lastly, try to be more specific and add examples when possible. Would you like me to provide some specific examples of these actionable steps?
That'll do. Really powerful stuff there. So I think number one, it's super obvious when you're going back and forth with it, so just make sure you ask for like really actionable responses. But number two, there's a lot of use cases there, a lot of good stuff that you can do. Because if you can have it going back and forth, so if you can, for example, run through reports, run through data, run through keyword analysis, run through semantic optimizations, etc., and you can custom train, and if you can build apps that are custom trained, for example, like SEO or data analysis, like this could be super powerful. That's by far the best feature I've seen out of everything. So thanks so much for watching. As I've shown you today, there's some elements of 2.0 Flash that don't impress me that much, and there's some parts that absolutely blew my mind today, including the live stream method. Now, if you want all the prompts that I used today, including the content, the humanizer tool, the 50 free ASEO tools that save you thousands of dollars, I've also included a step-by-step SOP for using these processes. And along with that, what I've included is 5 templated prompts that you can just swipe and deploy for your business, along with 50 use cases for live stream video screen sharing specifically for SEO, right? So you can see all these different ways you can use it, and that is all included inside this document. Now, if you want to get free access to all of this, link in the comments and description to my free SEO course. This comes with like hundreds of tutorials, templates, tips, everything you need to know about SEO, including link building, keyword research, content creation, free SEO tools. And if you scroll down to free SEO tools, like you can see right here, and then go to Gemini Flash 2.0, you can find the video notes along with all of this stuff. There's so much good stuff inside this free SEO course. It's better than most paid tools out there, and you can get access to everything for free. Along with that, if you want to get a free one-to-one SEO strategy session where we can show you how we take websites from 0 to 145,000 visitors a month, feel free to book. On this free link building acceleration, you will get a free SEO domination plan, discover the secrets of link building, we'll answer any questions you have one-to-one. You'll learn the best link building strategy for your website, plus how to quickly outrank your competitors in link building, and how to 10x SEO traffic based on what's working for us. Feel free to get that link in the comments and description. Appreciate you watching. Bye-bye.